Says we're going live. Says we're here. So were you able to do that without actually testing the view?
I got lucky.
You did get lucky. Hello.
Hi,
Good Lord.
John Brownstone.
Love loving BDSM, where we help kinksters like you have healthy power exchange relationships. This is our monthly Friday night live stream where it gets weird. We're here a few minutes early because, well, we didn't have anything else to do, and we were kind of excited.
I'll tell you what. Give me a minute. I'll be right back. I'm having a technical difficulty.
He's not actually ready, but that's okay. Hi, Mr. Spock. I've missed you, Mr. Spock. Hi, Pat Venus. Hi, Fresh Tomato. Or is it tomato? Hi, Silent. Hi, Mally. Oh, we're here. Hi, Jay. Hi, X. Hi, Bunny. Keep on coming. Keep on coming. Make it hard for me to keep up. I love it. U-Haul truck number 3? Mr. Spock, what is happening? Oh my gosh. Hello. I can't remember. Is it Mari? My brain wants to say hi, Mari. If it's not, if it's Mary, please tell me. But I thought it was Mari. Hi, Claire. Because, like, I recognize your name. I know you. Like, know you. That's a weird thing to say that I know anybody online. Because, like, y'all know me better than I know you. But, like, I know names. Oh, the too small U-Haul. Mr. Spock says they are on U-Haul number 3.
Whoa.
The originally rented size was way too small. Upgraded to the 20-foot. It turned out to be too small. So then they ended up in the 26-foot. I'm so sorry, Mr. Spock.
Dang, that sounds like a heck of an adventure and not a fun one.
No, I would be stressed out because, yes, thank you. Yay. Okay, Mari. Hi, Julie. Yeah, because for you to figure out that it's not the right size typically means that you've at least packed some of it. I don't know if I could contain my annoyance at all that. Okay, I want to say hello to you, but I don't. And welcome to your first live stream. Is it DW free? Is it another pronunciation I can't think of? Hello, either way. Oh, good, Mr. Spock. Oh, good. Oh, good. Oh, half loaded. Oh, yeah, that sounds like a nightmare. That sounds like an absolute nightmare. Silent wants to know how you're feeling.
Feeling better.
You look better. You're feeling well enough that you want to go on an adventure with me tomorrow.
Yes.
Do free. Thank you, X. However, it needs to be said. I want to say it right. And my brain is braining in a less than linear way today. No, Mr. Spock. No. And Silent, I'm with you. Hi, Kim. Good night, Kim. But no, I'm not helping anybody unpack. Nope. I will send you all the love and support, the good vibes, thoughts and prayers. I mean, they don't work for anything else that we send out through the internet, but whatever you need. Starbucks and desserts. You know what I've been craving, and I have not figured out how or when we're gonna get it. Not hot ones because I don't do spicy. I would kill for some wings. Like not boneless wings that are basically just like really well fried chicken nuggets. I want some wangs. I want somewhere like it comes out of my mouth clean and you're like, how did you do that? And can you do that to me? Like that's what I want. That has been my my experience as well, that the submissive needs a submissive. I need a personal assistant sometimes because there's just too much going on. I can be silent. Sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I don't, but yeah. If they're cooked really well, like really well, where like even the bones will crunch in your mouth. Yeah, I'm like, right out of my mouth. Not as well as I've seen some people on the internet do it. And that's been a little startling. Hi, Ben. Yeah, to me, they're still glorified nuggets, though, Ben. Actually, that is how the youngest is the pickiest eater among us. And that was how I convinced him to try boneless wings when we would go to like Buffalo Wild Wings. It was like, it's like a chicken nugget. It worked. My preference is flats. I will
Same.
do drums. I mean, I can and I will. But I prefer flats.
Bring me a plate of flats. Yep.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I don't like spicy. Like, I don't even want mild sauce on it. I want it like sweet barbecue sauce or garlic parmesan or something. The mild of buffalo wings is too spicy for me. And I know it's mostly butter with a couple of drops of like hot sauce. Doesn't matter.
I like the garlic parmesan.
Yeah, if I'm getting a dry rub, I like lemon pepper. Like, I really like lemon pepper. But some people like screw it up, and it has lots of seasonings in it, I know, but the overwhelming flavors I should be tasting are lemon and pepper, and sometimes it's salty, like salty. Like, make sure I have water on hand, and I don't like that. It's 9:32, and we're already chaotic and talking about food, so.
That didn't take long.
Yeah, no. Now I really want some wings. We blew our eating out budget on some Chinese delivery the other day. Maybe I shouldn't be allowed to order when I'm hungry.
Probably not a bad idea.
Okay, look, we're right in between two really good Chinese places. One does not deliver, one does deliver. It was rainy. I needed the place that delivered. I was not going out in that. JB was still kind of sick. I was not
driving.
Right. So I was like, okay, I'm going to pay a delivery fee. I'm going to have to tip for this. It's fine. It's fine. And I knew we were working with an old menu. So I was like, the prices have gone up, I'm sure. And literally everything on their menu has increased by $1. But I did the mental math based on the prices I knew. And then they gave me a total. And I went, wait, that doesn't compute. And here's well, one, I ordered more than I originally intended. But two, we were getting their like combination plates where it's like the entree and like a fried rice and an egg roll, and it's all in one for what, right? Okay, great. I was like, oh, instead of fried rice, can I get lo mein? And I say, I know there's an upcharge. It's fine. It was $4 extra to replace the pork fried rice with lo mein. I was like, it's not even, I love lo mein. It's not worth an extra $4.
No.
Oh, Mally, we ate Chinese for dinner. What was that?
Night before last.
Was it? Yes. And then yesterday I finished it for lunch. That's what I like about Chinese too. Like, it lasts.
Yeah, I got 2 full meals out of it, and there's still some sides left.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna eat my sides. Right, Silent? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Ouch. Oh, hi, Heather. I think have I ever had Japanese? I've had sushi. Have I had like gone to a Japanese restaurant? I think the closest is, have we ever, I don't know. I'd like to go to the Korean barbecue place that we have.
That just opened.
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. We are behind the times. They've been open for probably a year now.
Yeah.
No, just.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I've done hibachi and I like hibachi. I have been to Benihana. It was a work trip. So I didn't have to pay for it. That was delightful. And the boss bought drinks. So that was a drinking company, man. Anytime we went anywhere. Oh, cream cheese wontons are my favorite. Crab rangoon with fake crab in it. I'll take them without any in it. But because of the youngest, I now have a love for their fried meat wontons. I don't know what the meat is. It's a mystery meat. I don't care. It tastes delicious. Beer Fridays. Wow. Okay. The closest I ever remember, a couple of times in the office, somebody would have like a bottle of wine, or there would have been wine left over from like an evening function that was held there. And so it'd be like, oh, it's Friday afternoon. And I was like, I don't like wine, so I guess I'm SOL. Somebody give me a Diet Coke. A company keg. That's wild. That is wild. A kegerator? Is that like a refrigerator for kegs?
I
What
don't
is a
know. I've not.
kegerator?
I've
I've
sounds.
never heard that word
Yeah.
before.
No.
No. Mini fridge for kegs. There's a mini fridge for everything. Do you know there's
Yeah.
mini fridges for skincare?
No. And no.
I don't want one. No. I want to go to ours. It's not really like close by, but we have to pass it sometimes.
Yeah.
But I'm also every time I've ever driven by, it's been busy, and I don't know if I want my very first experience of a cuisine I've never actually had to be when it's busy and I'm going to be overstimulated just walking through the front door.
Remember when Texas Roadhouse first opened and we tried to go, and it was like a 2-hour wait,
and we went,
like,
no, thank you.
No, we're not going to do it. And yeah, it was like a year before we went back.
It was, I think, longer than that because they opened. We were worried they weren't going to open at all because they were building that place when COVID hit, if I recall.
That's right.
And so we weren't going to restaurants then anyway.
Mm-mm.
And yeah, they, for the first couple of years, and yes, I know, yes, during COVID times, it was the line to get in was around the building. But then when we did finally go, like what, last year? Sometime last year, we got a gift card. We went during lunch thinking that'll be mild. No, that was, the rolls are good. Their rolls are superior. Their butter for their rolls is superior. I just need somebody to deliver that shit to my car. I'll sit in the car and eat the rolls. Being in the building was awful. It was supposed to be a date. We were supposed to be on a lunch date, and it was awful. I was about to take to the bed. He needed to get me home after that. Well, if you recall, we didn't get a booth. They didn't have any booths available. So they sat us at a 2-top table in the center of the dining area. It was very crowded, like everything was pushed together. At lunchtime, the music was so loud, you with hearing aids couldn't really talk. We couldn't talk to one another.
Oh gosh.
You don't remember this? It was a traumatic experience for me. For him, it was a Tuesday. Then my food ended up not being that good. All I could get was a chicken sandwich or whatever. Do you not remember this?
That I remember. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Look, Silent, it's either a cry for help or the best damn day you can have. Because think about it. You're in your car alone eating yeast rolls with delicious butter and nobody bothering you. Nobody wants anything. You don't need to be anywhere. You just need to be in your car. I would need a drink to go with that. But, you know. Now I want yeast rolls. I do not want to go to Texas Roadhouse. Fuck that shit.
No.
I would, quite frankly, I would rather just go to Longhorn. We haven't been there in.
Yeah.
We only go there when we get a gift card. Our steaks are too fucking expensive.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what they would cost now.
Oh my gosh. Mm-mm.
So we have done the Make It Home Red Lobster cheddar biscuits. My only complaint about those is they're a little salty, like saltier than, and it's probably me. They never come out as good as they are Red Lobster. You like them. The couple times we tried them, he's been in heaven, and I'm over here like, I need something to drink. It's too salty.
Ben, I remember.
Ryan's.
I remember Ryan's. We had
Best
one in
yeast rolls.
In Newport Richie.
We had one in Crestview when I lived up in the Panhandle. And
yeah, their yeast rolls, man, they were delicious.
Oh my God, yeah, I remember Ryan's.
Yeah.
Hey, CDC. Hi, Eva. Ooh, Mally, that sucks. I'm pretty sure the one in the Panhandle is probably long gone. I don't remember if it was gone before I moved away.
Oh, the one in Newport Richie is long gone too.
I would imagine at this point it's probably long gone, but I can't remember if it was even still around when I moved out of Crestview.
No, I was still in Holiday at that time when they closed and they went away. I was very upset, very sad, because they had good desserts too.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good place to, when the boys were really little. When I was still with their biological father, and then after, it was an easy place if somebody from in the family came to visit, we would just go to Ryan's. Everybody could find something.
Mhm.
And all I had to do was get whichever the children had enough teeth to eat at Ryan's, because the youngest was a baby for some of it, but could get the oldest to like eat a couple of pieces of chicken and as many rolls as he could shove in his face, and
Like
he
a
looked like a little
chipmunk.
chipmunk. And then I'd let him have all the soft serve ice cream he wanted. I didn't fucking care. I have never enjoyed going to Golden Corral.
I agree. Ryan's was always very chill.
Yeah. Golden Corral
can get chaotic.
I feel like I'm standing on the casino floor
Yeah,
somewhere.
Yeah.
And then when they introduced the chocolate fountain, but then just allowed children to just, I mean, some adults to just go back in and out and like not have clean. I was like, no, we can't. I can't eat here. Not only am I overstimulated because it's so fucking loud and so chaotic and so cramped. The ones I've been in have been so cramped. Then I'm like, why did you think a chocolate fountain where people had access to it was a good idea? Yeah. Last time we went to a Golden Corral, I'm sure I had the rolls because, of course, I will always eat a roll at a restaurant. But I don't even remember finding a lot of things I liked on the buffet. I don't know. It's the Walmart of buffets. That is an accurate description.
Oh my gosh.
Because yeah, it is. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know what it's like now, but there was a time it was kind of inexpensive enough. You could take a hungry person or a family in there and everybody was getting fed. But I've never liked the vibe of it. Do you know, I think I ate at a Piccadilly one time. I've been around Piccadillys like most of my life up until some certain point when they just kind of disappeared. But I think I've only eaten in Piccadilly one time. Did you ever eat in a Piccadilly?
No.
If I recall, Pat Venus, correct me here. If I recall, it was sort of like one of those go down with a tray kind of thing, but it didn't have the same vibe to me as like a regular buffet style. I don't know why. Maybe were there people behind the thing carving meat? Maybe, I don't know. I only went to one. It was in a mall. When people still went to malls.
Yeah.
Clearly they do, because they still keep turning the lights on at the mall, but it's not as many.
When I first moved to Florida, I worked at Morrison's, which was in a mall.
If I ate at a Morrison's, it was when I was a child.
Okay.
Because I have no memory of ever.
And that's like cafeteria style. You come in.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of, cafeteria style.
And you come in, you go down the line, and I want this, I want that.
Yeah.
They usually have like a roast beef and sometimes a ham.
Yeah. Piccadilly's was like that. Piccadilly's, if I'm remembering correctly. Oh God. The IKEA restaurant.
Oh yeah.
I know everybody raves about their Swedish meatballs.
Mm-hmm.
That was not my favorite. I don't remember what I ate last time we went, literal years ago.
Yeah.
But God, Sizzler. I haven't thought of Sizzler in an age.
Wow.
Oh, now I'm trying to think. Did we ever go there when I was a kid? I think that was like a little rich for our blood when I was a kid. Okay, I don't know if this was a regional place. And if it was regional, you might have heard of it. Or if it was national. I don't know because I was a kid. Shoney's.
Oh yeah.
Okay. We had a Shoney's coffee mug from some fucking where. Going to Shoney's was like a thing.
Oh
if we got to go.
When I remember traveling as a kid, there was two of them that I kind of like, Shoney's and Big Boy.
I never went to a Big Boy. I've never gone there. If I recall, Shoney's had breakfast, and their breakfast was pretty good. Am I remembering this correctly? I was a literal child the last time I even thought about a Shoney's or went in. But yeah, I remember it being like a big deal to go to a Shoney's. But I'm of that age. I remember going into Pizza Hut to sit down and eat. But we had to, because I always had my little coupon that showed that I had read a whole lot and I deserved a little personal piece.
There was another place, remember Ponderosa?
I heard of it, but I don't think I've ever seen one or been inside of one.
Yeah, I've eaten it one years ago. Sizzler I've heard of, but had never been to one.
Yeah, I know I had heard of Sizzler. I don't. Right. Reading rewards. Look, I don't need to be rewarded for reading now. I didn't really then, but it was a nice little perk. We were driving by the local elementary school the other day, and their sign was out for their Scholastic Book Fair, and I was like, man, there's not a thing in there I want, but I would love to go to a Scholastic Book Fair. That was my favorite thing to do with the boys when they were of an age where there were Scholastic Book Fairs in their schools. It was like, yeah, there's, even when we were like full ass broke, I was like, there's no budget. Let's just buy until the debit card cries. You can have whatever you want at the Scholastic Book Fair.
Oh, wow. There's still some that exist. Wow.
I feel like there was a very like iconic like mascot for Big Boy or sign for Big Boy or logo for Big Boy.
Yeah,
was it a literal Big Boy?
Yeah, he was holding up the plate with the burger on it.
I believe my only experience with that is seeing it in TV or movies. Oh God. Gotcha. By the way, for anybody who's new here and they're like, yeah, aren't there supposed to be other things happening? Not until about 10 o'clock. We always have to ease into it.
Just
and
fiddle fart around.
Started on food early. I'm not hungry because we had dinner. It was a very good dinner. You cooked dinner tonight. Thank God. It still feels weird when it's not me cooking dinner. Because
it feels weird when it's not me washing dishes. So we're even.
But then we had gas station cookies and they were actually good and we haven't died yet. So I'm not actually legitimately hungry, but also now I still want wings. And I want to go eat at a place that I have, that probably doesn't even exist anymore. Chuck-O-Rama. Oh my gosh. The gas stations in general over the past 10, 15, maybe even 20 years are stepping up their fucking game.
Oh yeah.
Wawa,
yeah.
Like who needs to eat out? Go eat at Wawa. But we were at a Circle K tonight. That's where my Diet Coke came from. And they have like little bakery things and little whatever. And I was like, who needs a candy bar? I would like some M&M chocolate chip cookies.
Julie R. Yes, Subway cookies were always good too.
Subway cookies were good. I have no interest in trying their foot-long cookie though. I think that's what it is. It's like, no. I have the ingredients to make. So I bought Reese's Pieces peanut butter chips because I needed to zhuzh up a brownie mix I had, and there's still enough left over. And there's a recipe on the back of the bag to make chocolate cookies with peanut butter chips in them. That is the plan this weekend. I'm very excited. Yeah. Comparatively, Wawa can sometimes get a little expensive. I'm like, yes, I would like this burrito, but maybe not for $6.
Yeah.
I'm a cheapskate who remembers when you could get a Sonic burrito for like $3. Like the good size Sonic burrito, not the little baby Sonic burrito. I didn't get to do mall trips like unaccompanied by parents much when I was in my early teens. My parents are way too strict for that. And we lived so far away from the mall, it was impractical. So I would have to wait until I had a sleepover at my bestie's house. And her parents were always happy to take a child to the mall and go away for a couple hours. We're going to go do stuff. So I think I did that maybe a handful of times when I was like 13, 14, like peak time of wandering the mall. Like that's an age where they were free babysitting essentially. By the time I was 16, 17 and I was too busy trying to get into the backseat of cars with boys. So, and then by the time I was 18 or 19, I was working in the mall. And then that will kill you. That will kill the need to go wander the mall. Working in it, having to see people and be with customers. Now, the last place I wanted to be after work.
The mall or the skating rink?
I never could do the skating
two places
rink.
You can go to meet. girls.
Yeah, I would try to do the skating rink. I think a couple of times I got invited to go to the skating rink. I cannot skate. Look, I'm barely doing good to stand up on 2 flat feet on the ground. Do not put wheels under that situation. And God help you, I tried ice skates one time. I ended up crawling off the ice. And see, maybe they had them when I was younger. Like, I say younger, like literally 25, 30 years ago, 35 years ago. God, I'm old. But I don't recall seeing the like push thing that you can get now if you don't know how to skate. It's a little bit like a walker, but that's not its function. You know, I don't recall that being available.
No.
And I never, as a younger kid, we didn't have access to the skating rink. One, we lived in the middle of fucking nowhere. It took 45 minutes to get anywhere, and we were poor. Nobody was just making a trip to take me to a fucking skating rink. I didn't get invited to a lot of birthday parties, and if they were at the skating rink, I would just say no because I learned what embarrassment felt like at a very young age. Why would I do that to myself? So, yeah. But no. Now the bowling alley, though. I would do the bowling alley. Midnight bowling, when I was finally old enough, my parents were like, yeah, whatever, we don't give a fuck. I mean, I was almost 18 by the time I got to that point, but the bowling alley, that was my jam. Okay. For a while, pure dumb luck, I didn't suck at bowling. And then when I started thinking about it and actively trying to not suck, then I sucked. So now if you ever get me in a bowling alley, I'm not trying. I'm just tossing it down there. Did I knock over 2 pins in the whole fucking thing? Didn't care. I ate fries. I drank Diet Coke. Probably danced to whatever the music is. These days, I'd probably hurt my shoulder worse if I tried. But I would. I don't know. I would probably do daytime bowling now when it's mostly like the elderly doing their like league things. But that was part of it. The reason I didn't mind bowling is because my grandparents, my mom's parents, those grandparents, they were part of bowling leagues. And so if it was like certain times of the year when I was staying with them, you know, on school breaks or whatever, I was put in the car to go to the bowling thing. And so I spent a lot of time in bowling alleys. Until they bought me French fries, I was usually bored out of my skull, but you know.
Yeah, I used to bowl.
Nope, not eating beef tongue. Nope. I'm not tasting anything that is capable of tasting me back. Nope. I heard about those kinds of sleepovers. I never did them. Never did them. Nope. So we're 20 years apart. If I had bowling alley, skating rink, walking the mall, I mean, those things existed, maybe not the mall when you were a kid, but did they? When did malls come out?
Malls existed.
Okay. So were y'all doing that too?
Yeah. That's what I said. I said that earlier.
Well,
malls.
I went back to the bowling alley and the skating rink.
You know, bowling alley and skating rink and malls were where you went to meet.
Yeah.
Okay.
I never met anybody. What else? I was going to say where I met folks, but I didn't meet them there. It's just where I made out with them. That's a different conversation. Was there any other places?
House parties.
See, I never got invited to those.
Oh, the house. Always house parties going on somewhere.
Yeah, no. I was then and am still now a person who really just wants to hang out with like 1 or 2 people. I can get crazy with 1 or 2 people. Boone's Farm was $3.99 if you could get somebody to buy it for you. So
no, these were big parties.
Silent.
What?
You see what silence? You mean JB wasn't out there doing mammothons? When you know something is from your own childhood, you can't imagine it's from another generation's childhood. I was just confirming. Because I knew malls were like an 80s thing, and I thought late 70s, but I don't know at all when malls really came into existence.
No, there were malls when I was a kid. They were
okay.
And I'm talking like the indoor,
right?
The big,
I was so sheltered and lived in such like the middle of the freaking woods, that I just called it the good mall was the indoor mall. They're not new, but these more popular things where it's like this open air kind of thing. And no, in the 80s and the very early 90s, that was not the good mall. The good mall, you got to go inside and be in the air conditioning.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just called it the inside mall.
So that was the malls and the roller skating rinks. And that was...
I mean, my friends knew more about that stuff. I was sheltered, and nobody is shocked. Socially awkward even then. But also we were broke. So if it was a thing that was going to cost money to be able to do, that was just never a thing that I did. So thank you. They sucked in the 90s. See, they did the outdoor malls. And these days they're amazing. If they're like newer and if they're well maintained, like the one we would go to when I still lived in the Panhandle had a splash pad in the summer. They did a huge Christmas bloody blah thing.
They put one holidays. Up in they put one up in Wesley Chapel. You park and you go into it, and this is the open air mall. It was like you were in a town. The stores were made up like, small town buildings and stuff.
If I'm going to the mall, I'm trying to get away from the small town vibe. What the fuck? Small towns didn't have the mall.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. But yeah, now they're much more luxurious. But see, we are still old enough, and most of y'all maybe are in our age range. I remember when food courts at the mall used to be so fucking good, and now any mall I walk into, I'm like, what is happening here? What is this? Like, there's usually a Chinese place, and I'm going. It's gonna be good. It might make me feel a little queasy later, but it will have tasted good.
Yeah.
There's now always a chick fucking filet, and it's usually got lines just out the fucking thing.
I like the several people have mentioned it now in the chat. Sbarro's.
I ate there. Sbarro's. I ate there a couple of times. I was an adult before I finally ate at what's it called? It's a Charlie's. They do like the Philly cheesesteaks and the subs, but it's like the cooked meat, Philly cheesesteaks and other things. I'd been around, seen them, but I did not eat at one until I was an adult. I miss, and I'm sure other places still have it, but I have not been in a mall in years that had one. I miss Cinnabon being at the mall. We in the little pissant town I lived in South Mississippi and worked at that mall, they didn't have a Cinnabon, but they had a local place that some local person opened up a cinnamon roll, like Cinnabon knockoff. I mean, just looking at the cream cheese frosting on it would give me diabetes.
What was the other place that was in the malls?
Are you thinking Auntie Anne's?
No. The chocolate chip cookie factory?
Yes. I have not seen one of those in the mall since the oldest was a literal baby. And he's almost 20. Oh my God, I almost have a 20-year-old. Oh my God. What even is life? Yes. It's 10 o'clock. So we will still be chaotic, but in the meantime, we will also answer questions if you have any. So this is pretty simple. If you have a question, it could be about us, it could be about kink, it could be about your specific situation, but you need to be really concise when you ask the question. Please tag us, just type at Loving BDSM. It lights up for us. Don't spam the chat if we don't see your question or get to it fast enough. If you ask multiple times, you will be put in the corner by our wonderful moderators, who I think kind of enjoy that power, and I'm okay with it. If your question cannot be contained to like a single text thing when you hit enter and that's it, probably use our email instead. It will probably be an episode at some point if you send a question like that. That link is on our website. I think it might be down in the description box, blah, blah, blah. So yeah. Thank you, Bunny. Have y'all heard of Tenga eggs? That was JB's gateway into sex toys.
It was.
And you're not actually technically supposed to use Tengas for very long. You used yours until it just gave up. It died.
Yeah. Well,
you basically rubbed the.
You brought me the Tenga egg back from the UK when you went to Eroticon. And yes, that kind of spurred me into a whole little Tenga thing for a while there.
I don't know, because I have not paid attention in ages. I think Tenga now does more than like the egg thing. I think they have like slightly more sophisticated stuff, but the egg thing where it's got a texture on the inside and it's like the most basic sleeve you could possibly have. This man practically rubbed the texture off. He liked that thing so much. You're really only supposed to use it a few times. It's not the thing I don't like about those eggs, at least how they used to be, was that they were considered disposable, but they were of a material you really didn't want in landfills.
No.
But yeah, very aware of Tenga eggs. I have not thought about those. And
Silent, yes, I did. I had the spiral. But yeah, that's what
they're
you
real
do.
stretchy. You put your and then yank, and that stretchy material covers you. And somehow still maintains the integrity of the texture on the inside. It was like magic.
Yes, I know. It was stretchy and bendy.
Ben, I'm not sure. I'm going to read this out loud. I think maybe a word's missing. Ben says, why do they call it oven when it says of in the cold food, of out. No, I don't know what you're trying to say, Ben. Can you say it again? Because I don't know what you're trying to say. The Tenga spiral, is that one you got or not got?
Yeah, I had the spiral.
Did you have the spiral? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
After you help my discovery of the egg, that's what I said. I went on kind of a little Tenga discovery there.
Okay. I'm going with X's reading of your name because I want to say it right. Of maybe it's Dufree. Hello. And go ahead and get your question. I need to ask this right away because I have to drive soon. Okay. Be careful out there. Tips on finding comfortable gags for someone with a smaller mouth and often dry lips, but love having a gag in. I love a bit gag, and it's not because of any smaller mouth or dry lips. It's because I don't feel like it's so intrusive. I get claustrophobic and I panic. So a bit gag is like a bit. If we had monetization still, it's gone now. The other thing is I really like, again, for me it's a panic thing, but I think it would benefit different people in different ways. The smaller gag sizes that also have the holes. Because a few things. One, it's easier to breathe. Two, there's lots of drool coming through there. So you might start out with dry lips, but they're not going to stay that way once the drool starts to flow. Right, and the holes let the drool is, there's a lot of it.
Now, I have also seen, yes, both in the ball gag and in a form of a bit gag that they use soft silicone. Okay. And a lot of people like that because they can bite on it. It's soft and has a little bit of give. Yeah. So it doesn't feel, like there's something rigid in the mouth.
Yeah. Because the kind I've tried have either been like a plastic, that's the one with the holes, or it's been like a rubber. The bit gag is actually leather with a covering of like clear plastic, I would say, like thick plastic over it. I fucking love that one. That one, I kind of lose my shit over that one, but that's not really about. I think in that one it's more because yes, I can't speak, but also it's one of those where your mouth is kind of forced open. I've never tried a spider gag, but those intrigue me. My biggest fear is that the thing that holds your mouth open, that's what a spider gag does, would be painful, like if it pinched my skin, because then all I'd be thinking about is how uncomfortable it is, and I would not be thinking about the dick that's about to be down my throat. And so that's no fun. So yeah, that's how you ask questions for anybody who's like just getting here. Tag us, ask your question, and in the middle we will keep being chaotic. You know, Bunny, that is true. I don't like body fluids of hardly any kind, and yet there's something about the drool. It's a powerlessness and total lack of control to the extent I literally cannot control body fluids coming out of my fucking body.
Would you say there's even a little bit of humiliation?
Yes, definitely. There's a humiliation aspect for me. The total loss of control is pretty fucking hot though. Like the probably the hardest part about it, if it's a good one where I feel like I can breathe and I can stay relaxed while I'm, whatever, is I still have all the thoughts I would normally be having. They don't just go away, but now I can't say anything. Or I could try, but I will be the only one who understands me. Now, the time that we will finally maybe take the gag out is if I get left, especially in our bedroom, which is carpeted. If I get left standing in the same position for too long, now there's just a puddle in the carpet. Nobody wants to step in that. So that is usually when it's time to take the gag.
You remember to put a towel.
I already have sensory shit. I don't want to step on something wet and carpet. That is awful. Hi, Andre.
Hey, Andre.
Yeah, we don't play with our gags often enough. We haven't played. We're doing so much better and connecting so much better than we have over the past few years. We still haven't played that much. I mean, part of it is we do have a teenager who is always home. If we're home, he's home.
Right.
But there's some stuff coming up potentially that he might be down to participate in that would get him out of the house without an adult. So I'm gonna take advantage of that.
Yep.
Wet socks. I don't like wet socks either. No. I have never seen that recipe, Joseph. I don't know if I have. I see other like cinnamon roll recipes, and I always go, "Oh wow, okay." And then I think about trying to have the patience to do all that. I'm kind of the type of cook that if I can't just whip it up in a bowl real quick and dump it in something, that's too many steps. So, yeah, probably what we really need to do, and this would take some work. We need to get the oldest home so he could be here.
Right.
You and I go
Run away
locally to a hotel or whatever. Hell, leave the car for the kid, the oldest, and we'll take your bike.
Yeah.
Oh, and like just overnight.
And it's big enough we can put enough luggage in there for overnight.
If we're going somewhere, we're probably gonna be naked most of the time. Where I am, I don't know about you. You do love to stay almost fully dressed, and I am like bare ass, butt ass naked.
Damn straight.
I know, it's so hot. I love it. I love it. That is a good idea, X. That's how I decide when I'm gonna make. When I find a recipe, I'm like, how many ingredients does this require?
How long does it take?
And how many steps? There is somebody, I'm sure they're on like TikTok or somewhere else. I see them on Instagram. I do not remember their account, but they will rate recipes that get shared in reels and TikToks on is this, I can't remember if they just say neurodivergent or if they say ADHD, but basically, can somebody with the attention span and interest of a gnat actually do this? Like how easy is it actually? And if it has more than I think 5 steps, they're like, nope, never happening. That's been helpful because they've looked at some that I have learned the hard way that people will make a recipe sound really simple. They'll visually make it look simple. And then I'll try to do it and it's not simple.
So Eva, no, she has not been on the bike yet.
That's because JB's job is to get himself comfortable on the bike before I'm getting on it.
I'm kind of relearning with this.
It's a different type, though.
It's very different from,
Yeah, I'm already a nervous passenger when we're in a car, and he's been driving one of those for 50 plus years. I almost said 60. Sorry.
Well,
but close.
Not legally, but
so yeah, since it's new, like where the buttons and the gears and the this and the that are is completely different. The way you have to lean in or not lean into a turn is now completely different. I'm like, when you're comfortable, then I'll get on. Now I have a much better seat than I ever did before.
Oh yeah.
The only thing that I'm gonna miss is on your old bike. I didn't have to, but I chose to like wrap around you like a little Reese's monkey.
You did.
And I mean, the only downside to that is if something happened that made me really nervous, my palms would get real sweaty and he would know immediately because it would be on his shirt and it'd be a wet spot. You know, after like the second or third time that happened, he did get me gloves. So
yeah.
And now I literally have like a perch. Like I think I have like armrests. Like it's wild. Yeah, it's wild.
And
I have a cool helmet
and
too.
They're heated armrests.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Why are you so like, oh, I don't want to go out in the cold if you got heated shit? We got new helmets. He had to get a new helmet because once you get into an accident in your helmet, you can't use that helmet anymore.
Yeah, no.
I got a new helmet. It's more purple, has more purple on it than I thought.
I'll go get it.
The picture that we used to like shop looked blue, but it's got butterflies on it. It's so pretty.
And Bunny, we've been under a freeze watch for the last 2 nights.
Yeah, poor us.
Yeah.
So like,
I'm right. I'll get here.
Let me tell you how JB is the best human being alive. We're on freeze warnings, and I'm still sweating because perimenopause and weight gain all suck, and I'm just perpetually hot. I run hot just in general. JB is the total opposite. He runs so cold. So the compromise we've made for everybody to be comfortable is he will actually leave the window open at night and our ceiling fan running. I'm sleeping naked and often pulling the covers off of me because I'm so hot. He has given up sleeping naked during this time and has extra blankets to put on top of him so we can, and I think we've both gotten the best sleep of our life the past couple nights doing that. We can't cuddle. It don't work to cuddle because I'll start sweating. But yeah. You know, Mario, I was watching. The episode we were supposed to do this week that we had to cancel is going to be next week, and it's going to be on perimenopause. I'm very excited about it. But one of the people I follow for information has pointed out that perimenopause makes your cholesterol go up. And several years ago, out of fucking nowhere, my cholesterol started going through the roof. And I was like, oh, perimenopause does that to you? Of course it does, because it does everything to you. Okay.
Right.
He used to be very much polar bearish. Okay, go ahead. Show off my helmet. Ah! Yeah. And we no longer do like skull cap kind of helmets either. No. We're protecting the ears and our face. It's so pretty. I love it so much. I feel like an alien or like a space person when I have it on though. I've never thought I had a disproportionate head to body ratio. And then I put the helmet on and I'm like, that's too much head. That's way too much head for even this body. I have been watching our cats lately, Ben, because that's my fears. They're going to body slam the screen out. And they wouldn't normally. Normally they love to just watch cat TV. But we have a neighbor who has a cat. I would desperately like for this cat to love me. And he is never going to love me. And Koi. Koi. Ella hates this cat's guts. She can see all kinds of cats walk past our house and does not. Koi pisses her off. Maybe it's an enemies to lovers situation. Look, she's fixed. She can't have babies if they still want. I
mean, so is he.
I'm not cock blocking no damn body. Okay, but she's made me nervous that she's gonna bust out that the screen in the window when she gets real pissed off at seeing Koi. Yeah, I would not be surviving some of these even kind of cold days if JB wasn't willing to open the windows. Like, thank you. The other part of the compromise we made is he was like, okay, the window can be open while we're sleeping. When I wake up, I'm shutting it.
Some bitch gets shut and the heat gets turned on.
And that is actually what wakes me up, because the vent in our bedroom from the heater is literally like right over our bed, and the air blows in my face. And I'm just like so annoyed. I'm like, what? Who's blowing on me? I hate this feeling. So, no. Reminder for anybody joining us, we are in the middle of a Q&A as well. I know it doesn't seem like it, but if you have a question, we will answer it. Just tag us in your little chat box thing there.
So,
it doesn't take long for me to talk so much I get a sore throat.
I don't know why. I mean,
it's not like I get a little excited or project or, don't actually take care of my voice at all. No, not a professional at all. I've been very fortunate my whole life. I've never actually fully lost my voice. Even at times when there was lots of talking, yelling, blah, screeching, whatever. It was actually Lola, and she ended up not needing her eye surgery.
No. So, CDC, give a quick, the ophthalmologist that we went to said it looked like something punctured
her eye a long time ago.
And it was long enough back that he was, not able to determine what it could have been. So right now we're doing 6 months of saline.
Just in that one eye.
Just in the one eye.
Because there's a haze, and he was explaining that there's layers to the eye, technical terms, and there's a moisture kind of imbalance from all these, like the haze and stuff.
Right.
So we're trying to make sure the moisture levels on different parts of the eye stay balanced. If not, these bubble things will form, and then that'll be a bad day, and that will require more invasive something.
Right.
But
yep.
Yeah. Now we are on the hunt to see, is Lola constantly licking her paws because of allergies, which is what we assumed and went to the vet for this week, or is it pain, which we did not assume, but now we think it might be. Right. Okay, Mr. E-Man asked a question. I introduced my spouse to kink BDSM power exchange through a meetup with a sub at Barnes & Noble 19 years ago. They brought up needle play, then marks. How do I ever destroy myth thinking now educated? About what specifically? Like, was it an immediate ew, gross no at the idea of it? Or was it a, I'm terrified of it? Like, what was the reaction that might need to have some like education and myth busting done for it? Like, what perspective are we coming from? If you can give us that, we'll happily try to answer your question. So yeah. No, but yeah, Lola's been on a couple of her medication got altered because we're like, we finally got an x-ray. You know that paw that got shot and surgery on before we ever adopted her? We finally got that x-rayed now. And come to find out, our new he's the vet office we go to, same office. The vet, new vet to us. I like him. He's
fucking adorable.
Oh my God, he's so attractive. He brought us into the little x-ray room, and both of us were like, I don't think we should be in
this is too close to a space.
This is too close. You're too good looking. Look, but that was all in our head, and then in the car, we didn't make him feel weird. But they did an x-ray on that paw, and he was like, I do not know what they used to stabilize this leg, but whatever they used, there's like bone growing around it, and now it's like
around it,
misshapen.
Yeah.
I absolutely think that they have probably a specific episode on needle play, but then because that's Rah-Rah's like jam, I bet they talk about it all the time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, anything about needle play, go to Rah for that.
Yeah.
I am of the camp of your kink is not my kink, but your kink is
Yeah,
okay.
I have never done needle play. I
have no
really have no desire to. I know people who love it,
Right.
and enjoy.
You know, it's funny. I don't know how I would feel about the sensation. The problem I have, and I can't even like I'll share pictures at times. I can't even look at those. There's something about the needle going into the body. That's the thing that freaks me out. Like I do blood work with the doctor multiple times a year. I've given blood, like whatever. I've had to get IVs before. They can poke me all they want. I can see the needle before it goes in, but the moment it's coming near my skin, I have to do that. I can't look. I can't look at it. I don't know what that is. Hopefully she's out like having a grand old kinky time right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's hard, Mr. E-Man, because you don't want to push somebody who is uncomfortable, because it could just be a limit and they might never just be interested or willing. But also, trying to gauge if you can present it in a new way or in a new light that might get them to think of it in a new way. It's mostly about if they're even receptive to the idea of like, hey, you want to watch this video with me, or can we listen to this podcast and separately or together and then talk about it and see what you think. But that ends up being that ball is in their court, and they have to be open and receptive to it, because otherwise you're pushing in a way that you don't want to push. That's not going to be good for anybody. I have found personally the things that I tended to have the most like myths in my head and bad information about, I usually ended up changing my mind through both experiencing more kink just in general. Like the longer I was a submissive, the longer we were doing kink, the more I was figuring out that, wait, just because somebody describes an activity this way, that I now have enough experience to know that's not the only way. There's always multiple ways to experience something. And it was like a transference of knowledge, like that worked for impact play. And then my brain went, oh, that means there's more ways to pick another kink play, right? But then it was also sometimes just exposure to other people who would naturally and organically just talk about things. And I would go, oh yeah, I think I've heard of that. And then from them, I would learn something. So yeah. Yeah, Ben, I'm in conversation with my doctor about potentially doing the whole injection thing. And I was like, I hope I can get good at doing that without looking at it. Yeah, I think the biggest thing in helping somebody learn about a new thing or rethink the way they see a kink or how they think it is experienced is in a very gentle way. It's in a very no pressure, hey, this is just information, hey, what do you think? Kind of giving them the option to watch a thing, listen to a thing, talk about a thing, but then moving at their pace and based on their interest level. Because the last thing you ever want to do is actually push somebody.
Yeah, no.
Not, yeah, in a way that's, you can put, that's such a nuanced thing. You don't want to push somebody so far out of their own comfort zone. They are now super uncomfortable and don't want to do anything, is what I think I'm trying to say. I'm stone cold sober. Y'all, would any of y'all believe that? I don't. Okay, Ben, I'm glad to know that. I'm so glad to know that. Yeah, I think if I'm a candidate for the injectable stuff, like medically a candidate for like the insurance will cover it kind of candidate, I think we're going to determine that at it's a May doctor's visit, like 3 more months.
Yeah.
Jay asks, any advice for when you tend to find interesting kinks that are more taboo and it makes you feel a lot of shame? I know it's not bad to have the kinks, it's just the stigma that gets to me. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I kind of looked at it when I first found my way into the lifestyle. The power exchange came to me very easily. It was the sadism that was tough, because I had always been brought up to, you do not hit a woman, you just don't. And at a Munch, I met a masochist, heavy masochist, and she explained to me that when a sadist, gives her pain, it's something that she needs and she loves, and it's giving her something that she wants.
I don't want to interrupt.
No.
Okay. What that kind of goes along with what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And that is typically to destigmatize something for ourselves, we have to then normalize it. And normalize it does not necessarily mean you rush in and do it if you are feeling some kind of way about it, or it's still a new to you activity, right? Normalize it means go be around people for whom that is a normal thing that they do that thing, right? Go to a Munch, get online in some online group or chat or wherever where they're talking about that specific thing that feels like that's got stigma to it, because there's all kinds of reasons we feel shame about things. It's, what we've been taught. It's what society kind of tells us. It's the stuff we internalize. It's all kinds of reasons. But one of the things I personally have found that kind of can desensitize you to that feeling is to see other people who clearly have jobs, probably have kids, are paying a mortgage or rent, whatever, like are normal people who do that thing too. Even if it's not the specific thing, because some kinks are very niche. Okay. I get that. So it's harder sometimes to find a whole group of people who do that one very specific thing. But if it's like part of an umbrella thing, right? Like it's maybe under the sadism masochism thing, or it's under impact, or it's under blood play, or it's, whatever. Try to find spaces where those folks are and they're just living their truth, living their reality. And it's a space where it's not a big deal. Like it's a big deal because you want to be careful and you want to manage risk and you want to get consent. Yeah. But it's not this weird taboo thing we do. It's just who they are. That's not a perfect way to get over shame and stigma. But it can be a start. I mean, that's kind of why the BDSM community at large, whether you experience it online or in person, is so fucking helpful, because you like a Munch, right? A lot of people who go to their very first in-person Munch are like mentally have this picture of everybody walking around in leather, right? And there's somebody cracking a whip. That's not usually what a Munch is, because they're usually in public spaces. No. So you walk into that first Munch and you go, that person, they're not, but like that person looks like my mom. That person looks like they could be my boss. That guy reminds me of my high school gym teacher. Like they're just the most normal looking everyday people you've ever seen. And they're into this thing in a similar way to you. Excuse me. And that can be very helpful for feeling some of those feelings. Silent, I'm now at an age where I probably look like my mom in a Munch. One of the few, like I haven't been to a Munch in 100 years at this point, but some of the Munches where there were clearly like 20 to 25-year-olds, I was like, I am old enough to be their mother. And it throws me off. I'm happy they're there. I'm glad they can do it, all that. But I'm like, oh God. I'm an old middle-aged lady now.
There was a 20-year-old at Munch one time and found out how long I'd been in lifestyle, and he was like, "You're a veteran."
Longer than that person had been alive. Yeah. Let's be real. Let's be real. I'm thankfully I am only 13 years into my kink journey. So I will not come across anybody at a Munch yet where I'm like, I've been doing this longer than you've been alive, but my time is coming. Give it another 10 years. It'll happen. So, but I didn't mean actually y'all's boss or your mom. I mean people who remind you of them, who kind of look like them or have a similar attitude. Come on now. Come on. Because if I ever walk into a kink space and somebody I'm related to is in there, I'm turning around and walking out. But also, you come across similar types of people wherever you go.
That's okay. I was, a number of years ago when I was doing a lot of the shows, as Wood Dom, when we lived in Pinellas. Remember when I was just getting started and I was sharing a booth with that one person out at the Tampa shows?
Yeah.
Okay.
God, that's forever ago.
Yep. I was at Phoenix Club one night, paying the entrance fee, getting signed in.
I remember that.
And she came walking in the door.
Look, like calls to like, okay? Sometimes you don't know your kink dar is working and you just find each other. I don't know. Yeah, that whole 1900s thing. Look, I like seeing younger people in kink spaces where in my experience have been dominated by older people. There was a time if I walked into the room, I brought down the average age, okay? But it's this weird in-between space where I'm no longer the youngest. No longer the youngest. Not by a mile. And I still, and I think it's because having an adult child is still so new to me. That's what I tell myself, is that if I look at somebody and go, I could be your mother, it's a moment for me. They don't even need to know I'm having this thought. It's all internal. But I'm just now getting that age where I'm like, oh my God, I'm old enough to be their mother. I'm old enough to be their mother. That's my problem to deal with. I never make it their problem. Look, I was there at a Munch the day somebody who had just turned 18 walked into their very first Munch. We were all old enough to be either their parent or their grandparent at that particular Munch. We were so proud of them. And then they were like, yeah, my mom dropped me off. And I was like, I'm really proud of your mom, who was not kinky, was not interested in it at all, but was willing to drop their kid off. That was cool. There was that part of me that was like, do we need to see your ID? Do we need a card for this Munch? But no. Yeah, when JB took me to my very first Munch, I think I was 33. And it was in a community that typically had slightly older people. I think the only other one who was young was our friend, who was like a year younger than me. We were about the same age. I could walk into a Munch and the average age went from 60 to 50 because I walked in. It's not like that anymore. And being in this area, I could walk into a Munch and bring the average age up now. I'm at that point. Because there are a lot of younger people in our area.
There are.
So. Yeah. For all our rambling, we are still technically in a Q&A if anybody has any questions. What else has been going on with us? Nothing really. You just needed to recover this week.
I just needed to recover. I don't know what it was. Some kind of bug hit me and I was just down for a couple days.
And I just let you be. I was like, okay. But what it did was I had all these grand plans for what I was going to do. He didn't need me. He didn't need me to like take care of him or anything. I just needed to get the hell out of his way and let him rest. But then I was like, oh, I can do nothing now. Of course I could, but I could not. I could not. So this week's been weird. Well, I realized, so I've been procrastinating on finishing the workbook on communication and power exchange because I realized something today. So that was a perk of our membership drive. I'm committing to having it done in early March. But it will eventually be up on Etsy. It'll eventually be available for anybody who wants it and is willing to pay for it. But I freaked myself out because for the first time ever making a workbook, I knew what I wanted the workbook part to be before I knew what I wanted to say in it. Like what information was I expressing? So basically I'm reverse engineering a workbook. This is not how I write them. I usually go, here's all the things I think you should know about this topic. And then I build worksheets around them so that you can do something with the stuff that's just been talked about. Well, this time I did it backwards and was trying to be like, let me type about this part of the topic. And it was so bad. I was like, this is so bad. And you want to know if I finally did? I finally just like acted like I was writing a blog post. If I had to tell, like if we had to do an episode and I was like, what do I need to tell you about communication? I just started typing. Several hundred words later, I went, oh, that's been the problem. That's been the problem. So, yeah. Yeah, Bible Belt's tough. It's tough. There's a lot of kinky people in the Bible Belt. They just won't necessarily be telling you about it. That's okay. When I lived in the Panhandle, the part of the Panhandle I lived in was often known as Lower Alabama or the Redneck Riviera. And when I figured out I was kinky and I'm like on FetLife and I'm trying to find other kinksters, I have no doubt the kinksters were there, but in that part of the state of Florida and that close to Alabama and Georgia, but nobody was posting about it. And now they have this thriving community up there. And I'm like, I don't want to go to community things because I freak out. But I mean, also,
and not just a community. I mean,
they're thriving. They're doing shit.
Doing big stuff there. Yeah.
Somehow, I think we must follow them as the shop must follow them on FetLife, the kinkery.com. Because we get emails about the stuff they're posting. And I'm like, I know that restaurant. I used to eat at that restaurant. I want to go to that Munch. They have good queso there. But you're welcome, Eva. I try. I'm glad JB started feeling better. Because we were both like, we usually send these out faster.
Yeah.
There is an excessive amount of packing material in your box because I'm paranoid. What else? We all just stopped. Yeah. It's proof I do run out of steam eventually.
Joe, that not everybody in the lifestyle is a sadist. You can be a dominant and have a power exchange relationship and not have a sadistic bone in your body.
No.
And
it can feel like a lot of people are like that. And I don't know how common it is. No clue. But that's how it feels and how it can be are two different things. Little Miss asked, when you and JB were long distance, did you ever have long distance dates or long distance intimate sexual moments? Looking for ideas. We did not do dates. There was a lot of phone sex.
Oh yeah,
there was so much phone sex, and actually, phone sex was in the sexual part of the activity was one-sided. JB told me what to do, and I did it. And I'm telling you, being directed in your masturbation at 5 a.m., that's a lovely way to wake up. If you got to be up at 5 a.m., let it be like that. And being the sadist bastard he is, some days he'd have me edge myself and I'd get no orgasm. And some days it'd be like, how many can you do in this 20-minute time period? That was when I was like consistently multi-orgasmic because I was still in my fucking 30s. So yeah, we did a lot of that. We didn't really do dates. We were just really consistent with our routine. So for the most part, we knew exactly when we would be in contact. Yeah. We never did Skype. Zoom was barely a thing if it even existed at that point. So Skype was the big one. We never did that.
Never thought about it. Whatever reason.
I think we were showing our age. It was phones all the way.
Yeah.
So Thank you, Silent. Okay, Mr. Eman says, how do I explain an interest in wanting or liking the idea of being nurtured or mommied to a working mother who probably doesn't want another kid? LOL. Okay, so how I sprung it on you.
Pretty much, yeah.
And you were not a parental figure like raising children. And that's probably a different kind of energy for sure. First of all, I would make sure that the conversation, however you bring it up to your spouse, is when they're not actively in the mom role. And ideally when things are relatively calm and they're relatively relaxed and it's just like this chill moment where y'all are taking time to connect. I'm still a big fan of asking hypothetical questions to kind of like gauge the temperature. Like if they immediately recoil, it could be because they don't know.
Have you ever heard of this?
Right.
What do you think about this?
If they immediately recoil, sometimes it's because they found a hard limit and they're like, no, thank you. And sometimes it's because what they think of a thing is not the full picture of the thing, right? They believe in stereotypes or cliches or whatever they might have seen online. And I think before you approach a partner, especially if you think you're wanting something that they might not necessarily be willing to give, I think you need to get as specific as you can about what you think you want. That's subject to change if you get to try it, because we can think we want a thing, try it and go, no, that doesn't work. I need to do this differently. So what does nurturing mean to you? What is caregiving? What is, having a mommy dom? What does that look like to you? What does that mean to you? And then, it's going to be, if your partner has any amount of interest in it and they're at least willing to think about the idea, it's probably going to be a lot of conversations over a relatively air quote long period of time. And what you need is for them to have an active interest so they want to go learn about it, because you can tell them what you know about the thing and what you want. It's more helpful if they go, okay, I would like to try this. Let me go off and investigate this for myself. Let me go learn some things for myself.
Safe travels, Mr. Spot.
So what would you say?
I said in the beginning. So Okay.
I know I suck up all the oxygen. Somebody found an old video of ours. And the only comment was, she talks a lot. And all I could think was, you're new here.
Right?
You're new here.
You give so much to learn.
Mari asked, can I get y'all's thoughts on kinky dating apps? Would sticking to Munch be better / safer? I don't know about better, because it's different for everybody.
Yeah.
Because sometimes going to Munches is great if you are in a potentially big community with lots of people coming in and out. But if you're in a small community and you're going to see the same 15 people every time, you might not get the full depth and breadth of potential kinksters in your area. Every day I'm grateful I did not have to try and meet a partner of any kind on a dating app. So I don't have a lot of experience with that. The thing I've seen people talk about is the idea of deciding how honest to be upfront or not. Kinky dating apps, you're there to be kinky, so that's not
right.
But how much do you kind of put in your bio or put out there that you're looking for? I am a person who's like, I'd rather give you too much information and let a potential person who comes across a bio self-select out, rather than draw people in and then have to go through that whole dance and then realize, oh no, we're not aligned at all. I don't think there's anything wrong with trying both if you're willing to try both. Better, safer. Anybody can portray anybody they want to be in person or online. Sometimes it's easier to read vibes in person. Sometimes you can look to somebody else and go, do you know this person? Are they legit? Is there anything I need to know? I think it's a comfort level thing.
Yeah.
And an opportunity thing. It's a numbers game sometimes.
I mean, one thing that stands out to me is, by going to a Munch and being in a physical community rather than just a dating app, it's easier to vet somebody. Okay. To find out what they're really like. On a dating app, you're kind of hit or miss.
Oh yeah, I mean, just the things I've heard about non-kinky dating apps, that sounds like a ring of hell, quite frankly. That sounds miserable.
Yeah. And I mean that would be my thing.
I think there's just no perfect solution anymore.
No.
I think if you are fortunate enough, in person or online, to find a partner or a potential partner and them, be legit and it be a good connection and it work out. For that to happen quickly is a little bit like lightning in a bottle. Like it's such the exception. It's so rare. From what I gather, there's a lot of swiping, whichever one is the reject, right? There's a lot of going through initiating conversations or having conversations being initiated and then being ghosted or finding out they're the in-person thing is you might see somebody and go, oh, they catch my interest, and they may have crippling social anxiety and not even be able to make eye contact yet. So like, I don't think there's the perfect way in general. It's the way that ends up working for you. And if you have multiple options, I would suggest it's a numbers thing. I would suggest taking them. But the other thing is on a kinky dating app, the purpose is typically to find somebody to date. At a Munch or anything that's not specifically set up for dating or hookups or whatever, our recommendation is always find out if you like them as a human being before you're worried if you like them as a partner. And that's a little bit easier to do at a Munch because you're sitting there, maybe you're having a drink or you're drinking coffee or you're eating something and conversation's flying and you can get somebody's vibe. But on dating apps, most people are there because they are specifically shopping around for a potential partner. And there's not usually the time in that quick interaction to even decide if you like them as a human being before you like them as a whatever kind of partner. X, that's what I would call my relationship with JB. That's why when people are like, how do I meet somebody? I'm like, my advice will not help you. I don't think anybody has the energy for 2012 WordPress blogging. And not everybody wants to put their body parts on the internet for others to see. So my experience is not going to be very helpful. That's X. I met my ex-husband on ICQ. 19 years old in college, finally for the first time in my life had 24/7 access to the internet, and I used it. So we got just over 10 minutes before we will finish up here. So if anybody's got any last minute questions, now is a good time to get them in. Make sure to tag us so it lights up for us and we can see it. And also I saw silent somewhere, like the chat moved real fast. I'm sorry. I was not thinking about my straw in relation to where the mic was. Just didn't even think about it. I apologize. No, silent, but we are old and tired. It's not long enough, but also this is a better balance. I don't know. There have been some Friday Night Live streams where JB and I could not keep up the conversation that long. And then there are times like this where, yeah, it kind of feels like we could go all night. I don't know. You're right. Old and tired people would start earlier, but we went to the grocery store first.
In the grocery store and we got dog food.
Because we are two wild and crazy guys.
And that's how we spend a wild and crazy Friday night.
We do. Right, X?
Yeah.
JB walked out of the pet store with the dog food on his shoulder, and I was like, is this okay? Is this going to work? Are you sure you don't want to just push it in the car? We can't have you go down. I can't get you out of here if you hurt your back.
Hey, I didn't want to have to walk out to the car. And they don't have
have a corral thing, yeah.
No. And so I bring it back. I was like, I don't want to walk back with the cart.
I know.
So
our pet, I like going to our the pet store, whatever place we go. It's not Petco. It's not like They almost always have like cats for adoption and like this thing. It was a calico named Callie who was so nervous. She was trying to hide. She had one of those like triangle little beds, like you could go inside it and it's supposed to hide her. I don't know if she got confused. I don't know if she just got nervous. She was trying to hide under it and not doing a very good job.
No.
She just looked so worried. Like, I can't take you home, but I want to take you home. So, yeah, here's the thing. This is why midnight was always hard, but it became harder over time. It does not matter what time we go to sleep or lay down and go to bed in general. We will start waking up between 6 and 7. Yeah. 7 in the morning at the latest. On a real bad night, usually when JB's back's been bothering him and we stayed up late and he didn't get sleep for the week, he might sleep till 8 o'clock in the morning. So what was happening is we were going to bed later, but still waking up at our normal time. It was misery. It's misery. Yeah. If Callie had like walked up to our house, I would probably be feeding Callie right now. You know, it's not even the recent snow. When I look at the state of my country, Tayshu, our country, I'm like, maybe I could put up with snow. Right? Maybe we need to just go to Canada.
I wear long johns again.
But then I watched a reel of somebody, I guess they had like a dash cam or something, and they recorded themselves driving in snow. And they were being very careful. I was like, no.
And they were still sliding around.
I would become a shut-in the moment. No. So. No, I just.
Yeah, I know.
No, hell, just look, to stay in the US, Minnesota is looking real good because I would like Governor Walz to like be in charge of me too. But that's close enough to Canada. That's too much fucking snow. I just you know, Eva, I did decide if I ever lived in a place where there was snow, that would basically be it. I just would not go anywhere once it snowed. But I think y'all experience your winters like we experience our summers. Our summer heat is like 8 months out of the year.
Yeah.
So if you're getting like crazy cold, because climate change is real. So like, I'm sure snow is going to come in weird ways if it's not already. I don't want that much time. I would not mind. I think I would not mind the cold. While I'm still running hot all the time, but I also think JB would turn into a Daddy Dom popsicle, and none of us want that. None of us want that. I love this man, but if I have to listen to him tell me how cold he is every moment of every day for several months out of every year, one of us will be running down the road screaming at some point. I love you.
We'll see how much you love me when we're getting ready for bed tonight.
Look, I've been kind of craving some attention, so I might regret it, but also I might not. All at the same time. The duality of living a kink life is in many ways is like, wow. But the duality of both hating what you're doing and also craving it and please keep going, and I can't believe I signed up for this, but also, oh my God, it's finally happening. It's a bit of a mind fuck.
So Silent, I have been in Florida long enough now.
It's very acclimated.
I'm very acclimated. Very, very acclimated.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Silent. Of all the things we could export, I'm sorry we exported that to you. Yeah. Lord. So, Yeah, I don't know. I want to keep being a Florida girl, but one of these days, part of Florida is going to crack off and float away into the ocean. And yet it'll be happening, and people on the sinking ship that is the Florida Peninsula will be going, what climate change? That's just a hoax. And the rest of us will just be like primal screaming, because what else will we be able to do? You know, I'll take my near freezing cold over the snow won't stop coming. No.
Yeah.
I read Little House on the Prairie. Okay. I can't remember which book it is, but the one where it was so snowy and the blizzard was so bad, like their whole fucking house was covered. I remember that shit. Apparently I was traumatized.
We used to get snow what way we used to get it. There were times we got up to 12 inches of snow. Then it would turn to freezing rain, and it would create a crust over the top of the snow. And sometimes it was so heavy, so thick, you could actually walk on top of it without breaking through into the snow.
Nope. I read about that in Little Women. We don't walk across solid ice because it might not be solid, and you might fall into a lake. I read a lot as a child, much like I read a lot now as an adult, and it stayed with me. No. Keep your icicles, man. Only icicles I want are on the inside of a freezer, is all I'm saying. No, thank you. No, thank you. I mean, I'm very excited for the cool, I should say, weather that we're going to have for, I think, at least another week.
Yeah.
But I'm just looking at the calendar going, the warm weather is coming. And not just the warm weather. The warm weather, that's not so bad. The humidity is coming.
Summer is coming.
It's coming. And I am, no amount of hormone replacement therapy is keeping the heat down internally. I'm not looking forward to it. I'm not.
Yeah, we had, the funny thing, we used to have to sometimes knock the ice off the roof.
Because it can collapse your roof, right?
Yeah, sometimes could get too heavy.
Look, hurricanes are awful. They are devastating. I would rather my roof peel off than it fall in on top of me. It's all water. Either way. Yes, Silent. Yes. I've got that whole episode prepped, and I was having mental conversations with myself, so I knew kind of what I wanted to, like, how I wanted to float. Like, here's the thing, I'm building this up. I'm more prepared for this episode than I have been in probably literal years, which means I will fumble and flub my way through it. And I'll be very upset with myself. But yeah,
I'll just sit here and smile and nod.
Well, because part of it, you'll be like, I had no idea. I try to keep him like informed of how all this goes.
You do.
Look, just teaching him about how little female bodies have been studied or incorporated into like actual studies was shocking to him. I was like, look, they just started testing blood on tampons in 2023, so we're a little left behind here. So, but then we'll get to the part of the episode where I'm like, guess how it has impacted me as a submissive, and then JB will get to go and guess how that's impacted me as a dom. So, anyway, it is 11 o'clock. This has been fun. We came in hot and we stayed that way. I still want wings.
You're winging it here.
Always. Right, frankly. We're gonna go. We will hopefully see y'all, talk to you however it works for you on an episode on Wednesday. And I have nothing else to say, so goodbye.
Bye.